In the early 1970s, when the Newberry Library in Chicago was asked to consider how the American bicentennial might most appropriately be commemorated. And I participated in one of these early grants. The thing I chose to do was to figure out what images of the Earth did the European general populace have when Columbus set sail, or better yet, when Columbus came back, or better yet, when it became apparent that the discoveries across the Atlantic Ocean were a new world rather than extension of that they were all of a sudden being confronted with the fact that there was more to the map of the world than they had. What images of the Earth accommodated this new stuff? And I was amazed of finding a reference to a map by Hans Rust, published in Augsburg about 10 years before Columbus set sail. It's a medieval image of the Earth that was given away, apparently, or sold for a very small price in Central Europe in the 15th century. And these early woodcuts apparently were meant for people to put on their walls, middle-class people put on their walls, and write with maybe some charcoal the calendar underneath it. And then you erase that month, you put the next month. This is before Columbus set sail. You have people in Central Europe getting a holiday gift to put on their walls, and it's a map of the world as they understood it, or as one way in which it could be understood. I can still remember just being struck by that fact. And then I did a little publication of what other images of the world were extant for say an educated European into which the news of the discoveries could be placed. And that's kind of a wind-up, or a prelude to this map, which is a map from 1507 by another Central European intellectual by the name of Waldseemüller. His map is the first one to name the Western continents the Americas, or America. He had access to the letters of Americus Vespucci, which his little circle published, and then they were going to redo Ptolemy's account of the world. Now this is, you realize, just a few years after the initial discovery. Within 15 years, they're trying to put together a kit to explain to people in Central Europe what the New World looked like, how to fit it in. And their kit consisted of three things. One is the very famous map, a big wall map printed in sections of the world. The other part of the kit was a basic introduction to physical geography, the world as a sphere. And then another thing, they had a series of gores so that individuals could make their own little globe. But you would cut it out and put together this globe. To me, that's just astounding that you have a people with kind of an interest in the world, and not only interest in the world, but of sharing that interest. They want to kind of integrate the new knowledge into the old knowledge, and to provide, in terms of teaching of history, they want to provide these little helps. This big map which you can assemble, the globe gores which you can make a little globe for yourself, and a little handbook that tells you all about it.